Let's talk about the delete key and the coding behind it. I go to the fe.py file and the section entitled Buttons at the bottom of my file, and I scooch on down till I get to my delete key, and I don't go very far. There it is. It goes off the screen here, so let me hit the enter key. I'll put that right back up in a moment. And let's look at this. Mr. Button, would you put yourself into the root window, and the text I want to see on you is the word delete. The width of the button must be 18 units, and the command that you must execute when anybody clicks on you is the delete under command. Deli under command. Assign all that information to B3, please. And he says, of course I'll do that. Now, Mr. B3, would you kindly tell Mr. Grid to put you, your silly self, into row 0 and column 2. Row 0 and column 0, 1, 2. And there he is. He says, of course I'll do it. Not a problem. Now, if you've looked at the previous video that deals with the structure of this system, and then you will already have a very good idea where the deli under command is located. It is up here at the very top part of our fe.py file, where all of our command functions for the buttons are stored. So let's go up there and find the deli under command function. Well, here's the top of my file, fe.py. Let's scooch on down just a little bit and we'll come to, there it is, the command functions section. And my first one that I have there is the define deli under command function. Let me list out some records and put Peter Rabbit up there. Now the system, he goes and he gets whatever data is in the FN field. That's over here. That's Peter. P-E-T-E-R. He gets the length of Peter, which is 5. Then he evaluates it. Is the length of 5 not equal to 0? Well, that's true. They're not equal. 5 is not 0. If 5 is not 0, then do all of this. Well, what is all of this? Oh. So what the system is telling me to do here is the following. I want you to go to the BE file. That's the backend file. When you get there, you're going to find a function called DELE, closely named to our current function. I want you to pass it TT, the 0th element. TT is a global variable. We met him just a few videos back. He's a global variable. Let's go and review who Mr. TT actually is. In the GTR function, I have a variable called TT. That's a global variable. This is what I do with him. First thing that happens is we get the current selection 0th offset. That tells me the order number of this fellow. What's the order number of this guy? He's at the very top of the list box. He's 0. It takes the 0 out of list box 1 and assigns this to UID, your ID number. Good so far. This is the 0th record in the list box. Now I tell the system in the next command to go and get all the data associated with the 0th record in the list box, UID. I'm just talking about the list box now. Go get the 0th record. The whole thing. That is all of this. He goes and he grabs all of that. 10 Peter Rabbit Marketing 6777. And he assigns that which is in list box 1, he assigns all of that data to TT. TT is a global variable, so everybody's going to know about him and have access to him. Let's go back up now to the delete command. Mr. FN. Mr. FN, go and get all the data out of your silly self. So he goes and he grabs Peter. Is it equal to 0? No, it's not. If it's not equal to 0, do this. Do what? Go to the 0th element of TT. That's going to be this guy here, 10, the primary key number. Grab that primary key number and hand it over to Mr. Delete function, who is in the BE file. So he goes right over there. Let's go over there with him and find out what happens. So here we are in the BE file, in the DELE function, the delete function, and he catches that number 10 from Peter Rabbit in here, in this variable ID. That's where he catches it. Now if you look down here, this goes off the screen. I'll hit the enter key, knock it down, so that you can see it more clearly. I'll put it back up in a moment. The first thing done here is as follows. Mr. SQLite 3 connect to the database called ems.db and assign all that information to Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, create the cursor, your scratchpad. He says, done. Assign all that information to Mr. Kerr. Mr. Kerr is now the manager. Mr. Kerr, would you please execute the following SQL command? He says, sure, I'll do it. Tell me what you want me to do. I want you to delete from the emp table. Here's your emps database. Here's your emp table within that database. Emps, emp. This is where our records are. Delete from the emp table where the ID field, there's an ID field in the emp table, where ID field equals question mark is replaced with ID, where the ID field equals 10. He says, Mr. Peter Rabbit. Yes, that's him. Delete him from this table. He says, done. Mr. Khan. Yes? Write all those records to the disk. So he commits those records to the disk. He writes them. Mr. Khan, close the connection to this EMS database and go back to the line following the point of departure in the fe.py file. Okay, I'm going there now. Let's go there with him to here. The line following the point of departure. This clear it under command function is associated with the clear button. We haven't done that yet. We will in the next video. And the view command is the function associated with the list records button. I'm going to rem these out right now so that you can see what happens when we just execute this part of our code, which will work. It will delete the record out of the database table. Okay, it won't automatically clear off the screen, and it won't automatically refresh the list box. But we can do that manually using the clear button and the list records button. Next time when we go over the clear button, this will become more intelligible. So we'll omit it for now. Let's run our program now and see what happens. Our GUI database system is now on the screen. I list out all the records. There's Peter Rabbit, Marketing 6777. I hit the delete key, and he's gone. But notice it did not clear off the screen. That's because we remmed out that clear it command. And it didn't refresh the list box. Let's do that manually. Let's clear off the screen. Let's refresh the list box. You'll see that Peter Rabbit will be gone. And he is. I hope this video has been useful to you, and if you would share and like this, I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, I wish you lots of luck. Bye-bye now.